Hi, I'm Patrick, and this is Brian. Together, we just got played. We're at the Cloak and Blaster in Orlando, Florida, and we just got done playing A Bad Day for Donuts. We're eating glazed and Bismarcks and fucking crullers. Join us.
Eclairs.
Eclairs. It's a fat girl's name. Join us for A Bad Day for Donuts. Brian, tell us about A Bad Day for Donuts.
Sure. A Bad Day for Donuts is a 2 to 5 player game. It's basically like a tactical skirmish donut-themed game in which each of the players are assuming the role of like a master baker, not baiter, and they're preparing donuts, and then they're mixing them and then baking them and then throwing them out into the arena to go and attack the other player's donuts and hopefully gobble them all up. The first player to eat 13 points worth of donuts of the other player is the winner. And essentially each turn, players will draw 2 cards and they get to select the donut that they like the best, and that donut's going to have like a total health value on it, and then it's also going to have like a subsequent number which determines its staleness rating, or almost like it's kind of like morale check. Like once it loses so much health, then it gets weaker in its attack dice. So once the other type of card you can end up drawing is a special of the day, which kind of gives you unique powers that you can use throughout the game whenever it says. So after you draw your card and you play your donut card, you put a corresponding token on the board and to your card, and then you have your movement. So you roll 2 dice 6, and you get to allocate all of those movement points amongst any of your donuts that you have out, and you start advancing them towards the other player. Anytime that you use your donut enters the space of the other player, then that's going to basically make an attack against them during your attack phase. And when you go to make an attack, you'll roll 2 dice 6 if you have a fresh donut, basically any amount of health that's above that stale marker, or that stale number for it. And the defending player is also going to roll 2 dice 6 unless they have a stale donut. Then in that case, they're going to roll 1 dice 6. And whoever the winner is going to do damage to the other donut, and the damage is just the difference of whatever the 2 die rolls are. And then you're going to determine whether or not that donut's going to end up going stale. And the other thing is the losing donut is going to then roll like a 1 dice 6, and that's going to determine what's going to happen to it randomly. So it's going to either stay put, it's going to run away, it's going to be their choice, or it's going to move either clockwise or counterclockwise, or maybe bump into the wall. And if it does that, or if it runs into another donut, then it has to fight again. If it ends up going somewhere, and it stays there and it's in the same place with your donut, then it has to fight again. So it's kind of, you could get stuck and you could end up gobbling up that donut, you know. Let's see, that's I think all of the combat, and with that, it's the first player to basically eat 13 points worth of donuts of the other players to determine the winner. With that, Patrick, what would you say is your favorite thing about A Bad Day for Donuts?
What I loved about A Bad Day for Donuts is that special card that you mentioned. That special card is one that you randomly draw off the deck, and it tells you about today's specials. Today's specials is a special ability that you can add. It's like a global ability for me that I can add to any one of my donuts or any one of my abilities. So, and I think it changes the game a lot. I think it adds a lot of spice to it. If there's one thing that I really like, it's today's special.
Okay.
And if there's one thing that you really like,
my favorite thing about A Bad Day for Donuts is the theme. It's nice. It's not zombies or something like that. There's not a lot of donut-themed games, you know. And it's the perfect excuse to basically to bring to game night a dozen donuts, you know, and consume every one of them.
Kind of a thematic game night where you're nerfing on donuts.
Exactly. So it's the perfect excuse for dessert, or to show up and get donuts or anything. So that's my favorite thing. Patrick, what would you say though is the thing that you like least about A Bad Day for Donuts if you had to pick one thing?
It's a light game. And it's fun, and it plays pretty fast, and the rule book isn't huge, but I think it relies a lot on randomness. So you draw the cards, they're random. You roll the dice quite frequently, and it's fairly random. So it's just it has a little bit too much luck ratio to skill ratio for me to say that it's not the thing that I like the least. And if there's one thing, and you have to pick one thing that you like the least, it would have to be?
The thing that I like the least is I ended up making a bad tactical decision and not grouping all my guys and going after him and all together. So I think there's some strategy to it which I did not execute in a good fashion. But I would have to say that once I started to get behind, it was hard to catch up. It was hard to catch up again. I lost like 2-3 donuts, and then once I got down to just one donut manifesting or coming out of the oven every turn. At that point, I guess I probably could have played it differently, but I ended up slowly getting gobbled up by Patrick over here. So,
and his donuts are tasty. If you ever have a chance to eat Brian's donuts, I highly recommend it.
the sprinkles, I think.
Or Jimmy's, depending on where you're from.
Sprinkles.
Sure. Sprinkles.
Or Jimmy's. Anyways, A Bad Day for Donuts is coming to Kickstarter very soon, so why don't you jump over there and, back for 12 or 13 copies.
A baker's dozen. I'm Patrick, this is Brian. Together we just got played. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not kidding, man. Your donuts are delicious.
Well, that's what I've been told. I mean, it's no secret, so.
Yeah, it gets out.
Yeah. The secret's in the glaze.
I'll say. And your Jimmy's are no joke either.
Wow.
What kind of production is this?